have the most challenging schedule going into this year. And while the Bears are one of 8 teams to win their division last year, there could be trouble ahead because 7 of the previous 10 teams that had the hardest schedule to start the year missed the playoffs. The last one to win a playoff game was the Falcons in 2016. So people have been giving me, since the season ended, Dominique, I've had a never-ending array of people telling me the Bears are going to take a step backwards. Is this more argument that they will regress in 2026?
It certainly is more argument that they will regress, but I don't believe it. I think it's possible that they may not have as many wins, they may not win the division, but I think they're going to be a better team. They've addressed some issues in the secondary with their safeties, but more importantly, they can effectively run the ball. That's one thing that they've always been able to do, or at least Ben Johnson's always been able to do, and they did incredibly well last year against some really good teams. And I have no reason to believe, as long as they got Bradbury in there to replace the Dahlman's retirement at center, I have no reason to believe that this rushing attack is going to fall off. As long as that's there, I think this team will be fine. They'll get better, and they'll be contenders in the NFC.
How different is it, D. Wood, when you step up in class like that? When all of a sudden now you're a defending division champ, you won a playoff game, you've got this tough schedule because you're playing a first-place schedule. How different is your world?
No one's going to sleep on you. Like when the Chicago Bears come across, it gets your attention. That first-place schedule is no joke. I remember, in New England, we won a Super Bowl the next year. Man, it felt like we were playing 16 Super Bowls because that's just the way it is. And I'm sure the Bears are going to have that type of effect. But I think the biggest thing for the Bears, you can't carry over the amount of turnovers they had last year to this year. You know, they got an inordinate amount of turnovers last year. And so how much more has this Bears defense improved? I think it's going to be a big part of it.
What's the feel coming out of Chicago, Shefty?
It's a real factor, the strength of schedule, no matter how much you want to deny it. And the Bears, to Nick's point, absolutely look like they're going to be a better team this year. It doesn't mean they have a better record. It doesn't mean they have a better season. They may have a better team, but that doesn't always translate. If we go back and look at the teams with the toughest strength of schedule, it has had an impact on teams. They lose more the next year on average than they have in previous seasons. So we'll see if the Bears can overcome it, if they're good enough to overcome it, but it's a big challenge in front of them.
So, I've unpacked the whole strength of schedule a million times right now. Not going to do that in this clip because we've just done it a million times. So, we don't have to keep harping on that, but the whole idea about the defense and having all those turnovers, and so they're most likely not going to have that. I agree, but I had talked about this before, that the defense can improve and still be great and a big asset for them and not needing all of those turnovers. And even if a lot of those plays didn't end up being necessarily interceptions, they still would have been stops. They still would have been plays that were broken up, right? So, the whole idea that it's just that this defense was boom or bust in terms of they're either forcing an interception or they're just or forcing a turnover or they're just giving up, touchdowns left and right, I think is significantly overstated. And so, I do think this defense will be better even if they're not getting all of those turnovers. And I agree with, I forget which one of them said this, but this is what I had said before. This is what we were talking about last season about Ben Johnson and that run game. Like last year, this was not really discussed that much, but the Bears had the best O-line in the NFL and elite O-line. The second highest that I've personally seen of a pass block win rate of 74%. The highest I saw was 75% Kansas City Chiefs in 2022. So, there. O-line was a major asset, major advantage for this team, for Ben Johnson, for the run game, for Caleb, etc. Now, even if you bring everyone back, right? It's kind of like bringing back a defense or bringing back an offense. It's like, can you expect it to be that great as great? And now obviously I know they're not bringing everyone back 100% because you're having people leave. So, that'll be interesting. Again, I'm not anticipating that they go from the best O-line in the NFL to now like the bottom 5th, the bottom 5 O-line. I'm not anticipating that, but it will still be something to kind of keep track of because even some of Caleb's spectacular plays when he's doing off-script trying to buy time, part of that is also the O-line contributing. And, their run game was like easily one of the best and most successful run games in the NFL. I told you guys this recently. It's like I have a whole video breaking down just the run game because it was perfection. I mean, it was awesome and it was combined with that O-line. And so again, it's not a matter of them regressing or falling off a cliff here, but it's just, is it as much of an asset? And the question then also remains, is it even more of an asset this time around? That's going to be interesting to look out for. That's going to be really interesting to look out for. But my take remains the same around this Chicago Bears team. Is it still 100%? I'm going to make a separate video because I didn't see the clip, but I saw the kind of like the thumbnail of it. They have discussed Caleb Williams needing to take a leap in this, in his third season. I saw it on NFL Live. Like I said, I didn't see the video, but I saw that there is a clip around it, so I want to make that clip, and so I won't spend too much time on it here, but it's just there's no other way for me to slice it. It's just like I want to see Caleb Williams just execute Ben Johnson's offense at the highest level. Not so much any of the other stuff. Nick, I just made a clip about this. Nick went on a whole rant about being Superman being a superhero versus being a civilian, and he painted Caleb as being a superhero. And it's like that's true, but Caleb needs to be better at his civilian role. And that is executing the offense. And when he improves at that, I don't care about any of this other stuff. Like the conversation just becomes like, are people just healthy? Do you have players on the field? You do. Great. You're going to be awesome. You're going to have a ton of success. You're going to have a ton of success. And so to me that if we can talk about the O-line, we can talk about the run game, we can talk about the defense, we can talk about all of that. Will Bears take a step back in 2026? Yes or no? We can talk about the strength of schedule. If Caleb Williams just simply improves at running and operating the offense, then they will absolutely positively 1000% not take a step back. I don't care what the defense looks like. I don't care what the O-line looks like within reason. What the run game looks like. They will be a successful, more dangerous team because you will have a more dangerous Caleb Williams because you'll have a quarterback who can do both, who can play civilian and can play superhero. You want to talk about that, and that analogy actually kind of works perfectly. Superhero versus civilian, because all these superheroes have, hidden identities or whatever, right? Secret identities. And it's like, when you have a great secret identity and you can know how to actually be a civilian, you work. That's literally the whole premise of The Boys, is that those guys can't be civilians. The superheroes, they know how to be superheroes to a degree, but they can't be civilians. They're bad civilians and therefore things get a little weird, right? So, it's like you got to be able to do both. We really want to continue with that analogy, metaphor, whatever. So, that is 100% what I've been locked in on that for Caleb since last season, and I'm going to continue to be locked in on that. And so, that to me is ultimately the only thing that matters, or the thing that matters the most for will Bears take a step back in 2026. Well, how is Caleb Williams being as a civilian? Great. Then this team's going to be amazing. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Chicago Bears and their potential to take a step back? This seems to be a very, 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 very popular topic right now. The whole idea that the Bears are regressing. And Caleb seems to be quite the controversial figure, in the NFL recently. We haven't even really been exposed to all the endless list. I know Colin just recently made his top 10 list, but I feel like we're right around the corner, from starting to hear everyone starts making their list, within the next month or so, and after that, and that's when the chaos will really begin to see how high or how low people are, putting Caleb up in this moment of time. But let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. Would love to see you a part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.